Open everything up here. Okay, we're live, and this is just an opportunity to go live to promote what's happening over on the Polite Society podcast YouTube channel and the Mingle, which is a training event that just concluded, or it's concluding, happened this week. So we're going to chat about the Mingle just a little bit. Heard about it a few years ago. It was explained that it was an industry event for ladies that's quite a few years in the works. It happens in Georgia this time of year and brings a bunch of ladies together to train and collaborate. That's why they call it the Mingle. So they talk about on the webpage here, we'll drop the webpage, it's hosted by the Complete Combatant, which is a couple that do firearms training. They do, or they've got a place in the firearms training world with some visual-based training, from what I understand. So a lot of respect there. And then they do this Mingle event once a year, and says it's an event for women in the firearms industry. And since it just is happening or happened, the page is kind of changing. But to get the idea, it was from May 21st and 22nd, all day in North Georgia. There was nearby hotels and stuff, pretty nice facility, the Pickens County Sportsman Club. And it looks like they had 3 of the ranges and the clubhouse. And they had 3 designated parking areas and covered ranges, bathrooms with indoor plumbing, and classroom, and so much more. So it looks like they had pretty nice facilities for this. On Saturday, they got there early, parked, and headed to the 25-yard bay. They got registered. There was raffle tickets, and they got their schedules. Then they spread out for opening stuff. Got chopped up into blocks. I think there was something like 70 attendees. And then they went off to 3-hour training blocks. Then they had lunch, more 3-hour training blocks, it looks like. And then everyone came together for announcements and things. Day 1 can run as late as 6:30, so it looks like they're a little flexible on that. Then on Sunday, everybody gets back together. It looks like you get together for the beginning, more training blocks, then mingling. So there looks like there's 3-hour blocks of training, so 9 hours worth of training right there. Then this scheduled mingling, and I think that's why they call it that. And that's the whole idea, is to let people have some time after some experience together, some shared experience, and some new awareness, to then have some time to debrief and have more time with the people. So this really does bring the essence of some of the experiences people have that I'm aware of in like military training or in jobs where you go off and have training somewhere, and then have the time off together with the people that your peer group, the people you're training with. It looks like it provides for that element, and obviously it's been successful. People speak highly of it, and I believe the way it works is if you're an alumni, you're invited back. There's only so many slots, and then certain people, if you meet the requirements of being a female in the industry, I guess, and the requirements are fairly loose, it sounds like, then you can attend and be part of the alumni and part of the group. So then it looks like they eat a bunch of food and had some interviews and closing statements and announcements. One of the other things that's neat is right here on the main page, they talk about having photo contests. People are taking pictures on the way to the event, during the event, and on the way home, and that they offer some incentives for that. But that's pretty neat to let people be aware of that. You're taking time to drive to an event like this, and then attend the event and then drive back from it. It's definitely worth taking the moment to archive it and to participate in an awareness campaign for the event itself, as well as to drive awareness to the other participants, the peers, the other people that are participating and traveling. Hopefully some of those people took the opportunity to have some fun with that as well. They had a scholarship, so that's pretty cool. And that's the event. So without getting too much into the event, what this video is about is the people that attended this year. And we've got one of the people that attended was Paul Lathrop, who is the media person for Second Amendment Foundation, based out of Washington State. Is he in Idaho? I think he's in like Idaho or something like that, or Montana maybe. So he's up there somewhere. And he traveled down to Georgia to do these interviews. So over on the Polite Society channel, each of these is a link to their channel. Each of these links you over to the various videos on the Polite Society channel. I guess that's the channel for the Second Amendment Foundation. Started out, or I put them in order alphabetically of the states, because why not? They didn't get posted in any order that I'm aware of, other than they had an introductory kind of interview with Amanda Suffolk and Raman Sandoval. I don't think I put that one in here, but they had an introductory interview, and then this first one with Shelley, who's the host and the creator or the founder, you could say, of the Mingle. Now this is a 17-minute video, so I won't play the whole thing because it's not my video, I guess, but that's the one to listen to first. And then I just put them all as I saw them being posted, created this placeholder for this live stream. I posted them in order of in alphabetical order of the states that are represented there, and then a couple of others that didn't really represent states but companies or organizations. So I think there's a total of 22 interviews. Most of them are short. Most of them are between 3 to 8 minutes. I'd say at the longest. Most of them are probably even more. The average is probably 5 minutes. So they're not, doesn't take too long. Originally I was going to just run through them, but that probably would take some time here, and they're not my videos. So I'm just going to go ahead and recommend, if you need something to be optimistic about, think about the people like Shelley and her husband, who are continuing to pursue awareness and education, both on the self-protection side, but is from what I understand, on the Second Amendment awareness side as well. They foster or host places like this so that the females in the industry can get stronger, better, and get more awareness of each other, and that moves everything along. If you're paying attention, there's a lot different debate today than there was just 5 or 6 years ago. And a big part of that is the people that get together and make that happen, where the rubber meets the road and the torque, gets the actual work done, where the energy goes from thought and intent, to actual action. That's the kind of things that's happening at the Mingle. So we wanted to take a moment and provide a link to all of these videos so you can watch them. Let's take a second and add it up, since we got nothing else to do this afternoon. Just kidding, there's all kinds of things I could be doing, but I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and edit this video in a new tab. So this is how you do it, or watch. Everybody's who's watching this right now live is watching the screen. We got about a third to a quarter of the screen over here filled up with the comments from people that are showing up. Tactical FUD is out there. Good afternoon. CNT also out there. Good afternoon. So what I did is I opened up the video itself so that we're editing the video while we're in it. And this is a little weird. It feels a little awkward, but it's okay. Doesn't hurt. What we're going to do then is open up each of these videos in a new window, one at a time, because my computer's slow and I do have pretty bad internet right now. Hoping to get better internet one day. So let's see, this one is 17 minutes. That's all we're looking for. So we're going to put in here Georgia and then 17 minutes. See what I did there? And then we're going to go to the next one, which was Charlotte Bridgman, I think, from Alabama. And I don't know the life stories on all these people or their biographies, I guess, but you can check it out with about 4 minute and 40 second video there.
Everybody, welcome to the next in the series of the interviews from...
That's what it would sound like if you're listening to each of one of them. I think it sounds like I didn't watch everyone, but I watched each of them to open them up, and I watched some of them. It sounds like they got better after a while. It sounds like they figured out the audio, the sound, and all that kind of levels and everything. So I don't know what order they go in, but they do sound like they sounded more tinny or something in the beginning, a little more echoey, and that went away. So then we get Ashley. So then I guess I just went past Ashley Ernst from Illinois, Jan Ennenga from Arizona, and Charlotte Bridgman from Alabama. Then we're going to go to Ashley. So I'm just opening these things up. I'm taking a quick look at how long they are. This one's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So as you can see, they're not very long. And then when we're all done, we'll know the actual length of the whole thing. If you were to watch all of them or listen to all of them in order, or put them all in a playlist maybe. I guess I could have put them in a playlist. Here's how you put videos in a playlist on YouTube.
Welcome back to our interview series from the Mingle 2022 version. I'm with Nosti.
All right. So here's what you do. First, take the date or the what's I'm trying to do here to get the time I'm trying to get here. 5:45. I can go over here and I can say save. Right. I'm gonna do this. Save. And what's going to happen is a pop-up comes up, and then it's going to say, where do I want to save this to? So now I can create a new playlist down at the bottom there, and I can say the Mingle 2022. Look at that. And then create that playlist, and now that video is in a playlist on my channel that is called the Mingle 2022. So as I open these now, I can add them each to that playlist. And I don't know if somebody decides to go to my channel and then decides to click on my playlist thing and then decides to click on this playlist and then decides to watch one of the videos, they're going to watch the video with Paul on the Polite Society Podcast YouTube channel. But what that really does is the mechanisms, all the little tubes and wires and things that make up the internet, they know that a channel with 167,000 subscribers clicked on each of these videos and then to put them in a playlist. And hopefully that gives the mechanism out there something.
Hey everybody, this is the second.
So this one's 359. And then we'll say save to this. It'll go, where do you want to save that? And then we'll go to the Mingle 2022 and close it. That one I open in a new window. See, what I usually do though is open them in a new tab because it's more clean. So let's go to this next one here. Oh, so that was Eve Haney in Florida, and Kara Nosti, which I don't know. He didn't write down what state she's in, and I didn't listen to the whole thing to know what state she's in. So I think she might have said Hawaii, but I don't remember. So now is Harriett Williams. This is a 5 minute.
Series of interviews from the Mingle 2020.
Come on. This one is 5:59, I think it said. Now, if there was a robot that could do this, it would take probably longer to set up the robot than to accomplish the task. Otherwise, you could make up a robot to do this. You could set these things up on the screen. See, now it's a tab. I could set this stuff all up on a screen and have a little robot click on stuff on my screen for me, but at least for me, I would have to take longer to set all that up than it is to just do the task. Now, if I had to do this for an afternoon, then I would set up a robot to do this all for me. I would have it right click on the next thing in the list and then go to 533 over here. What was it? 532, I should say. Then go back over and save. Put this one into that new playlist and close it. So when you're watching a live feed, you could do stuff like this. You could take a bunch of videos that somebody puts a lot of effort into, like Paul did, and the Second Amendment Foundation did, to feature the ladies that are showing up at the Mingle to give them a little bit extra reach and to kind of archive. I imagine part of this is to archive the event. So what you could do is create a playlist of your own, if you felt like it. Call it whatever you feel like it. Something like the Mingle 2022 sounds like a good way to go. And then put that on your channel while you're listening to somebody doing their live chat, just sitting there doing nothing, you can do something like what I'm doing here. You'll see how long this takes, because this video will end up taking about a half an hour or something. So when some people are sitting around listening to live streams, this is the kind of little tasks they're accomplishing, little things that are getting done. One of the other things you could do, besides putting it into a playlist or making a video like I'm doing here about the whole thing. Oh, come on. How do I get this thing to not just play right away? Is there a way to do that? I guess it's, most people just want this thing to play. But instead of putting them into a playlist, you could also set up on your, what is it called? What's it called? Your community tab? Whatever the tab is, it's like our blog here on YouTube. You could go to your community tab and put each one of these videos into its separate post on your community tab, and then schedule those to hit into the future. And while everybody in the world might not be like, oh, good, I can't wait to see this series again that's already out there, the mechanisms, those robots that pay attention to the internet and keep track of what's good and what's not, they see that stuff and they go, oh, look at that. Another person thinks the Mingle's so good. And guess what? The Mingle gets up a notch in the world of the internet. Nobody thinks that their efforts like this do anything. And that's why things don't get happen sometimes. But then sometimes people get conned into doing stuff like this, or their computers get taken over and a bunch of people just do stuff like this without them knowing it on their computers, and things do happen. So you can be part of that, intentionally doing things like this, learning the skills. Somebody looks over your shoulder and says, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm intentionally giving some feedback and pat on the back and encouragement and awareness to what I've valued, efforts that I think are worthwhile. And then they go, oh, I didn't realize I could just do that also, instead of just sitting there. Yeah. So there we go. Another one in the playlist, and we'll close that one. Right around here is when you go, maybe I should have set up a bot to do this. Maybe I should have not actually done this, but set up a bot and it could have done all this. But then you go, how many more are left? There's only like 5 left. I'm not going to set the bot up now. 307. But a lot of this kind of work can be done by robots. People that know what they're doing can just set up a robot to do all this kind of stuff. You know, robots oftentimes are just computer software. So it's not like a robot has to be sitting here. And things like this can get done, you know, for money. Like, oh, we want to make sure that that new rail really gets adopted. Or that light we ripped off from a company that actually put money into research development, and we just stole the idea. We want to make sure that we sell a lot of those in a different color. So they'll set up stuff like this. So we're going to go back afterwards and talk about some of the people. I don't know who all these people are. We'll just say their names though as we get done here. But it turned out to be way more difficult to say everybody's names as I'm going along. Usually I'm listening to something when something like this happens. Nobody's really saying anything out here. Weston showed up. Good afternoon. Katherine. So let's go back and look at some of these. Katherine Hall from Tennessee. Mea Myers from Tennessee also. Angela Humphries, South Carolina. Lisa Ludwig from New York. Vivian Paulter, New Jersey. And Ronnie Siegel, New Jersey. And then Soleil Roache from Hawaii. And Ruschman. I don't know if I'm saying all these right, from Georgia. I bet you if I listened to any of these videos, then Paul would say their names and they would say, yeah, that's how you say it. Or they would say, no, that's how you say it. And then we'd know. 518. Uh-oh, I feel like I opened that one. Maybe you just happened to get to. This is what happens when you get super slow internet. Oh, see, I did have that one open. Took me that long just to realize I had already opened that one. So you would think once I already opened it, everything would be good. With the cookies would, or whatever, would just say, oh, you've already watched this one, here it is. But instead, they've downloaded the whole stinking video. Go back to save, and it'll say where? And I'll say the Mingle. And then, I don't wonder if I even need to close that. I wonder if I can just start closing this. I think that saves me a step. So that's how you figure out about 3/4, 90% of the way through, how you can save time doing something. but maybe that'll save me some time next time. So now we're getting to Kandy Harrell from Gray Lady Self-Defense. And
everyone, we're back at the Mingle
dang it.
2022 edition.
I feel like I
I'm here
just
with Kandy
opened
Harrell.
this one.
Kandy, we're at the middle of day 2.
So it sounds like he was interviewing Kandy just as they were about to head into that Mingle portion. In fact, I did listen to that one a little bit. So that's pretty much what he just says right there. So that scheduled time for the attendees to just take time to hang out and learn about each other's situations and whatnot. These are people in the industry after all, so it gives them a chance to do that kind of collaboration as well, I'm sure. So that was Karie Borel from H&K, and then we got Howie Marbury from H&K. A couple of people that were, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I don't know if they were sponsoring the thing or if they were showing up. I think this guy was working there.
All right, we are back at the.
So he was either offering instruction or some kind of support there. So going back to save, and it'll go where? Yeah, we save the thing, and we go there. And then we get to a couple that I think they showed up to, I'm not sure, they were there for their business. So they might have been covering it like Paul was. And that's the Weidner family, the people that own Active Self-Protection, I guess. There we go, 641. And then Stephanie Weidner, I think she might have been there either teaching or shooting. Looks like shooting probably. And I think a lot of these ladies are instructors, or at least that's, they're in the industry. Some of them are on that angle, or that end of the industry, the instruction end of it. Some of them are manufacturers, and I guess some of them are media probably. And then the second to the last one is Natalee, their daughter. And they made a big deal about how, 2 generations are there.
Everyone, welcome back to the series.
It does not let me pause. So this is my mixture of my computer being slow, and I'm going to blame the internet. Let's just blame YouTube. And then one more into the saved one. And then close that. So then let's go back. We got their daughter, then Stephanie and Neil Weidner, who own the Active Self-Protection, I think. Then the Plate Society playlist. So they do have over on their channel all these videos in a playlist, but instead of just linking to the playlist, I link to the playlist and every one of the videos here so that we can, just help get the, spread the more links out there for them. But if you want to get to all of them, here they are again. And does it say 15 videos, 29 views. So they're not getting a ton of views yet, but I think part of their goal here is to archive the attendees of the Mingle and sort of the diversity of attendees. Where's my mute? So the whole point here was to open up the description of the video and then start to fill in how many times or what the times were. As I started doing that, I started to add each of the videos to my playlist. So I've created a playlist on the big channel here, and now there's a playlist called The Mingle, and all these videos from the Second Amendment Foundation will be there. But what we can do now is pull over the calculator, which is just part of the computer, Windows, and see how long all this stuff took. If we were to watch every one of these videos, it would be 17 minutes plus 4 minutes, let's just say 5 minutes, plus, let's just say 5.5, and then we'll say plus 4.5. Where are we at? And then we'll get plus 5.5 again, and then we'll get to +4, and then we'll get to a +6. I'm just looking at the times we just wrote down. Then a +5.5. So you can see most of these. The Hawaii interview is 5 minutes. Then the 2 New Jersey interviews together equal 8. I'll just put them together and say 8. And then New York, they say it like this. New York was, I just put 8 in there. So New York and South Carolina equal 8.5. We'll add those with the 5.5 from Tennessee to be a 6. And then a plus, and then a 7, and then a plus, because we got 2 7s in a row right there. Do you know on a calculator, if you just hit 7 and plus, and then the next number is 7, you can just hit plus again. It's super good, cool sometimes, and then it's super annoying other times. So then we're going to say 4.5. We can say plus because there's 2 of those in a row. Then if we're going to add the active self-protection ones in there, we'll say 7 plus 6 plus. So we're looking at about 1.5 hours, 96 minutes worth of audio if you want to listen to it, because they really don't show nothing on the screen too much except sit there underneath the tent. So there's about 1.5 hours worth of videos. Oh shit, I just closed that, didn't I? What was the number? Anybody remember the number? Because I just closed it and don't even remember the number. I'm going to type it at the top here. I'm going to say about 90. It was 96, wasn't it? 96 minutes worth total. There we go. So nobody in the world cares, but now it's out there. The Second Amendment Society sent Paul down, got 96 minutes worth of video with the 20-something interviews. That's not everybody. There was like 70 people there, so there might be a whole bunch more coming, but this is an introduction to that. I think I clicked save so I can close that. Here, let's look at the analytics. Let's see how much money this video is making. You can do that. You can open one up and look at its monetization as it's happening. Oh, I have it turned off. You guys ain't going to monetize. All right, well, so there you go. Thanks everybody who showed up. Other people did show up, it looks like, over here now that I'm looking. I think Weston was last time. Wesley says U.S. civilians with guns rescued approximately 1,200. Yeah, well, that's good. Don't get too worried about stuff, man. That you're not the one that they're actually worried about. They're mad about evil, and don't take it personally. Let them calm down. Use facts when it matters. But right now, they don't want to hear facts. Okay, it's gonna be all right. Okay, it's gonna be all right. So yeah, don't worry about throwing stuff out there all the time. You know, we're not going to solve nothing this week. Chris out there had a great show this week. Speaking of this week, I didn't realize when I first started watching, I came in late, that y'all were shooting pistol caliber carbines, and then I'm like, oh, that's what the whole show's about. So I was like, wow, these guys are shooting fast. It was pretty neat. I guess I could see why people want to shoot them little tiny race rifles. That's what I'm gonna call them now, little tiny race rifles. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Woods is out there. So thanks to everybody for showing up. Again, try not to get too upset. That's what they want, so that they can do stuff when you're not looking, right? So just keep looking. Just keep doing our thing. And let's remember that there's good stuff happening constantly out there. There were many, I don't even know, I feel bad. It's like 6 years or something into the Mingle. But we got people out there doing good work, and they're getting stuff done and accomplishing things. And we have Memorial Day this weekend, so we got really interesting things to think about this weekend, things to respect, and don't let somebody yank you around, especially people that are exploiting situation by an individual to yank everybody around. That's how they win. We had a vote or a poll going. 11 people voted in it. Had you heard of the Mingle before this video? Everybody said no, which is frustrating because I've been talking about it on the calendar events and stuff, but nobody knew the details either. But now some people know, and then there's a couple of narcs out there. People are provided by the government to basically on overtime, probably getting paid overtime money, sit around and watch people do their stuff and comment. So that's happening out there. Don't get distracted by them. End the poll and say thanks to everybody who showed up live. If you're listening to this in the future, Plate Society podcast goes live pretty much every day. They got the bullet and the weekly bullet. They do specials. There's going to be the NRA show this weekend, and Amanda Suffolk will be doing the CCW fashion show. Check that out. I'm sure that the Plate Society podcast will be covering that. The Train and Learn event by KD or No Other Choice is happening this weekend. Lots of great activists are heading to that. They'll also be getting up training and skill building opportunity to collaborate and build relationships. So there's lots of infrastructure being built and being built after layer upon layer. Like this is strong stuff that's being created, and this is our attempt to highlight some of it. There's more stuff happening live all the time. People are putting out produced videos that are of quality and interest. So have fun and give us some feedback if you're listening to this in the future, and we'll back to pick you up later.
Tonight's episode, The Endangered Species.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com. Do 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 do.